guys. So welcome to the Sunday Sauce. I'm super excited to be here this night. Welcome on board, guys. We're starting right about now. Let's just wait for a couple of, let's say, 1 minute or 2 minutes while we wait for more people to join us live. Okay, so while we wait for people to join us live, why not type something in the chat box? Let me know where you are connecting from. Just type in your name and then where you're learning from. What part of the world are you connecting from? Okay, so just type it in the chat box real quick while we wait for people to come on board. As you can see, we have a different setting this particular week. We're no longer using Zoom, so this is a new technical setup. Hopefully, it is going to be a lot more effective for us. Okay. I know that there is a lag in the um, when you hear me, it takes another like 5 or 7 seconds for you to actually hear me after I speak. All right. So drop in the chat box. Let me know where you're connecting from. That is your name and then where you're learning from. Okay, real quick. All right. So we'll get started in the next 2 minutes. And then what we're going to do is to analyze the Forex market together, looking for profitable setup. All right. So we have Mr. Edward Desmond from Lagos, Nigeria. Awesome, awesome. All right, so give me some more feedback, guys. So we'll start in the next 2 minutes. So I'm just doing this introduction to get more people to, join us. Okay, Mr. Desmond, glad to have you on board as always from Lagos, Nigeria. Awesome. All right, so we have Favor from North Cyprus. Favor, that is Dr. Flames from North Cyprus, my man. All right, so we have people from Nigeria, people from North Cyprus. Who else? We have Benjamin Richard from Enugu. Awesome, Mr. Richard Benjamin Alkali. Glad to connect. All right, good. And then who else we have? We have Denzel from Lagos. Okay, Chan from Zion. Glad to connect. Papilo, my man from Cyprus. Awesome, awesome. Glad to connect, guys. And then we have who else we have here? We have Ebenezer, Ezekiel Ebenezer from Nigeria. Awesome. Glad to connect with you guys. All right. So let us get started right about now, and then the other people will join us. So let's do a bit of a recap as to the essence of this Sunday source sessions, right? It's very, very simple. It's so that we can analyze the market together. That's number one. So as I'm analyzing, you see exactly the zones that you should be trading from in that particular week. Also, it's an avenue for you to join and then ask your questions live. All right. So this is a community session that we have. So every Sunday we are doing this to keep us engaged, right, in this forex trading journey, because like I always tell you guys, the shortest cost to success, if there's a shortcut to success, is mentorship. And then even though most of us joining here are not on the premium mentorship platform, right, but the fact that you are making yourself available for this weekly training, okay, so whether you like it or not, it is really, really, really going to help you gain fast track your journey, right? So let me share my screen so that we'll go to the charts real quick, and then we'll start analyzing the market. All right. So last week we analyzed a few pairs. Last week we analyzed gold, we analyzed Euro USD, we analyzed GBP USD, and then a lot of the pairs actually went away. If not all the pairs went away. So if you are joining these sessions, right, the best thing that can happen to you is you know exactly the direction that the market should go, because we are spotting supply and demand zones. All right. So give me some feedback in the chat box. I just shared my screen. Now this is a new technical setup. Let me know if you can see my screen real quick in the chat box. Just type in yes if you can see my screen, and if you can see hear me loud and clear. Just type in yes in the chat box, so that I'll know that all is good to go. All right. So we have more people joining us. All right. Good. So I'll just wait for you guys to respond. There's a lag. Awesome. Papilo, thank you so much. Good. So let's analyze a few pairs. So let me know the pairs that you want to that you're looking at trading for the particular week. So drop your currency pairs in the chat box, and then let's analyze these pairs together. All right. So drop your pairs in the chat box, and then let's do this together. Hold on. Let me make this good. All right. Okay. So Papilo said GBP USD. All right. So let's do GBP USD real quick, and then we'll come back to. So let's have GBP USD real quick. Give me a second. Uh, Let us hold on. All right, good. So let me go back to the chart. So let's go to GBP USD. Now let's start from the monthly, like I always like to do. Now, if you're starting from the monthly to get the overall perspective of the market. All right. So, and then as you can see, what is the monthly chart telling us? Price is in an established downtrend, as you can see. All right. If you go to the weekly, the same thing has been occurring. Price is in a downtrend. You can see lower lows are forming. All right. So hold on. So price is forming lower lows daily as well. Let's go to daily. So the best thing that we can do right now is to look for opportunity to sell this guy. All right. So because the dollar is very, very strong right now. So looking at this just from the daily, you can see the market structure. Price is in a downtrend. Okay, so guys, let me know if my screen is too small. Let me make it bigger. As you can see, price is in a downtrend. You can see this impulse correction, right? So that's the movement of the market here, right? So what we want to do is to wait for price to retrace beyond the zone, right? Now we have a break of structure here, right? So what we can wait for is for price to retrace into this zone right here. So price can react in this zone. Price can also react in this zone here, okay, because those are supply zones in the market. Price can also react in this zone here. So either of these three zones is where we see price going to react. All right. So we don't know exactly when price is going to come there. So let's go to the 4-hour chart and see possibly what price wants to do. All right. Now this is the 4-hour chart. Okay. Pretty much the same market structure, but the 4-hour charts you can actually be a bit more refined and then look for entries here. But I would prefer, because I'm seeing some sort of liquidity in this zone over here. Okay, this equal high here. So I think price would go up and grab this equal high into this daily supply zone. So I'll wait for price to come here before I look for sell setups. Now, even though the market direction is a sell, is bearish, it would be unwise to just jump into the market just like this, because we see that there's strong bearish momentum. Doesn't mean that you just jump into the market without a plan. So if you had entered the market since last week, whereas this setup aligned last week, if you had entered the market last week, you would have caught all of this move, right? But now you have to wait for price to retrace into a zone that you can take entry for optimal risk to reward. All right. So the best thing that you can do on GBP USD is to wait for price to retrace into this zone. All right. So when that will happen, I do not know. But as the market, as price begins to print from tomorrow, we can possibly see a buy. I doubt, but possibly based on what price will do, we can see an opportunity to actually buy this move, buy GPUSD into the supply zone here, possibly. Or we just see price print a new supply zone. Maybe price will do something like this. We don't know. Okay, if price should come up, for example, and then create a new lower low, then we'll now wait for price to retrace into a possible supply zone here. So if price should do this, then over here, we'll start looking for opportunity to sell this guy over here. So we now go on a lower time frame and then sell. So what we're going to do will depend actually on what price will do in the market. All right. So we have to wait for all of that to happen. All right. So Papilo, that's my take on on GU. There's no particular. I can't see any setup for entries yet because the entries happened last week. So we have to wait for new entries to form this week. All right. So based off of the data presented to us now, it will be ideal to wait for price to enter this supply zone over here. Or if price should print a new market structure, maybe we'll see a new lower low being printed. If this happens, you know that this is a supply zone over here. You first to come here and then look for sales. Okay, it's as simple as that. So let's look at another pair. Gold. Mr. Benjamin is asking for, so let's do gold. Gold. Now, if you have been following us a while, I think we have predicted the how gold is going to react. Remember, I told you that gold is going to break this weekly price was in a weekly demand over here. Uh, Price has been rallying around this zone, this weekly demand over here. All right. And then remember that I told you that I see liquidity, this liquidity, you have equal lows here. And then last time that price went all the way up, it came very close. Hold on. It came very close to this higher high here, but price did not break this zone. So if price did not break this zone, what it means is that this zone is now a protected high. Now that will now make the low a target. Okay, so that will make this low a target. This low right here. So that's what we predicted. And then when price came here, remember I told you that I see price breaking the zone. So price already broken the zone. So right now, price we are in some sort of an established downtrend on the weekly, and then this is a weekly, guys. So it's best to look for opportunity to sell this guy. Okay, and then the ideal place that price needs to get to really start an upward momentum would be this demand zone somewhere here. So maybe when price comes somewhere here, we should see weakness in the bearish momentum. So price, I think, still has a lot of pips to go, points to go into this zone, maybe the middle of this zone, or even at this extreme end, because what we can also see is equal highs here, this place, equal highs. All right, so price can come to this middle of the zone or come here to take out liquidity here. So price might come down, take out liquidity before shooting all the way up. Remember, this is also a weekly demand zone, so we should expect reaction over here. So if we know that price, possibly based on expectational order flow, price is going to get into this zone, what we can do is to look for opportunity to sell. We can sell gold into this zone here. So gold has a long way to go. So what we can start doing is to look for opportunity to sell on the lower time frame. Okay, so that's where you see the most move. So let's go to the daily chart and see how we can sell this guy. So price is here on the daily. You can see the market structure on daily here. You can see that price is printing new lower lows. All right. So what you want to do, guys, is very, very simple. I would expect price to come up into the zone here, because this is the ideal break of structure over here. Good. So I would expect price to retrace into the zone. When this happens, if price comes into the zone, all right, I'll look for opportunities to sell the market into that demand that we highlighted on the weekly, into this demand here. All right. So possibly that's what I see. That's what I see happening. All right. So that would also based on what price will do this week. All right. So we might see a very strong bearish momentum at the open of the market. Okay, maybe during London session, price might actually come all the way down. So based on what price should do, but when you are selling, remember that you want to sell from an area of supply, and if you are buying, you want to buy from an area of demand. All right. So always take note of that. Always take note of that. All right. So I wait for price to retrace into the zone. That's what I'll do. Okay. If price should retrace now, I want price to enter this zone. All right, before looking for sales. That's what I'll do. Except price does another kind of structure, then I'll look for a different supply zone to take entries from. All right. Mr. Tijan is saying, yeah, inducement now tap awaited on gold area of demand within the discount zone. Yes. All right. I'm not sure I get you correctly, Mr. Tijani, but we analyzed that on the weekly, right? On the weekly, we're expecting price to enter the zone on the weekly. All right. So based on what price is doing right now, there's still enough, there's still bearish momentum here. So price has not given us any reason to buy yet. So most likely we'll see that change of character when price gets into this demand zone here. Okay. So let's check out Euro USD and AUD USD. Euro USD. All right. So this Euro USD is also very similar to GBP USD because of the strength of the US dollar. All right. So what we have here, you can see price is very bearish. So our bias is to look for sell opportunities, right? Then you have the daily. So market structure on daily, let us mark it out. You have impulse correction. Okay, let me mark out this break of structure here. Good. So we have this. This happened, this happened, this. So based on what this guy is saying, this is Euro USD on daily. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to retrace into this supply. So this is where I'll look for entry on daily on Euro USD. So I want price to retrace into the zone. If price should do this, I'll go on a lower time frame and then use my entry techniques to look for a sell opportunity. All right, so that would be the ideal entry confirmation for Euro USD. Okay, also similar to what we have on GBP USD. Is that clear? That is Mr. Ezekiel Ebenezer. All right, so let's check out AUD USD real quick. AUD USD. AUD USD. So what do we have on AUD USD? AUD USD also similar. Let's start from monthly. The dollar is very strong. You can see. All right, so price is bearish. Let's go to weekly. You can see the market structure on weekly. All right, so we might experience a bit of bounce in this zone. because this right here, this is a demand zone. Let me make this white, right? Good. So over here, when you look to the back, okay, so this is a this is a demand level on AUD USD. So if price is coming back into this zone, we might experience some bounce off here because there are some institutional orders in this zone as well. Okay, so possibly this would be like a mitigation, and then this might be what will influence retracement of price. So this is a zone that we might expect a bit of bounce off, not exactly a start of a new trend. But if we go to the daily, what can we see on the daily? And then where can we expect price to reverse to so that we can look for sales? Now, over here, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. All right. So what we can actually do is to wait for price to retrace into this. Let me beyond the break of structure. So this is a zone that price might react here. Okay, so this would be a very good zone to find price to react to. All right. So because price is in an established downtrend, I don't really see price going beyond these two supply zones because of vested interest already in the market. So what we want to wait for is a possible retracement into the zone, and then we sell from there, or we wait for price to retrace into the zone and then we sell from there. Remember, this is a setup on the daily chart. So when price gets into this zone, you just don't click on the sell button. If you do that, you might be right, but your risk to reward will be too high. And then if you're taking entry based on the daily, right, your stop loss will be too high. Imagine you from here, imagine you using stop loss of 54 pips on this guy, and then stop loss of like 90 pips on this guy. It doesn't really make sense. Except you are willing to hold this trade for several weeks, right? But if you are an intraday trader, okay, you go to so once price enters this zone, you want to go to lower time frame, like your 30 minutes, like your 15 minutes, like your 5 minutes, and start looking for possible entries. Okay, so based on your entry technique, so that way you can really maximize your risk to reward, right? So personally, my own flow charts about this thing. So when I see a setup on the 4 hour chart, I go to the 15 minutes to look for a change of direction of the market that favors my point of interest. And then from 15 minutes, I go further into the 1 minute and then I take entries. So most of the time, my entry, my stop loss on all of my trade is usually between 2 pips to 4 pips, right? And then usually my risk to reward is averaging 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Okay, right now because we're able to enter the market, taking a lot of sniper entries. All right, so also leveraging on the fractal nature of the market. Now, all of these things that is happening on the daily now, okay, is the same thing that I'll be looking for on the 15 minutes and on the 1 minute as well. Okay, so that's the fractal nature of the market. I hope that's clear, guys. All right, so somebody said Eurocard was a Desmond. So let's check out Eurocard real quick. Eurocard. All right. So feel free to put your questions in the chat box, questions even outside analysis of pairs. Remember, this is a community Q&A session to help us improve our craft in this forex trading journey. All right. I told somebody last week that forex trading is the hardest way to make is the hardest way to make easy money. All right. So you need to constantly upgrade yourself. And then if you are following me on my WhatsApp, I posted a picture yesterday. I got it from Mr. Tijani. It was that meme of two people carrying somebody, a dead person, on like the that thing that's um that small bed or stuff. And then they were asking, waiting kill him. Okay, it was trading without training. All right. So it's very, very important that we take training seriously. Don't ever get to a point in your trading career that you feel that you know it all. Okay, it's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So personally, as much as I have a lot of people that I'm tutoring. Okay, I also belong to a trading community, all right, that I'm paying seriously every month for. Okay. So that way I'm not complacent that way I'm not overconfident, that way I keep learning. You know, winners will always train. Okay. So I've not seen someone that is winning consistently in any endeavor that is not on the field training. All right. So that's why you must take these weekly meetings very, very seriously. And then the best part of it is that this meeting is free. And then if you recognize value, you know that these are very, very valuable. So let's go to chart. So Euro card, what is this guy doing on the monthly? What's going on the monthly? Honestly, I don't have an idea. But what I'm seeing is liquidity being grabbed on this guy here. So we're expecting price to come react possibly in this. So this is a demand zone on the monthly. All right. So we can see a bit of bounce off here. You can see it's actually an established downtrend actually. So we might this is a demand zone over here. All right, you can see price has grabbed this trend line liquidity over here, and then whenever we see a grab of liquidity, okay, price usually we should see a very, very strong move possibly, and then price is at a demand zone. All right. So I'll be looking to possibly buy this retracement or look for a sell opportunity. All right. So that's what we have on monthly. So let me go to the weekly to have a better view of the market. So let's go to the weekly. So on the weekly, you can see price is in a downtrend on weekly. And then what do we have here? Now check this out, guys. Let me make this bigger so that we can see what's going on. We can see this downtrend on the weekly. You can see price retracing. You can see this. You can see this. And then you can see this. Okay. So this is the weekly market structure. And then based on the weekly charts, we are seeing a possible weakness in that bearish move. Now check that this is the lower high. Okay, that price has wicked now. You can see this wick, this move. Price has wicked it. All right. So assuming that we see, let me make it bigger. Now this is lower high, and then we see this green candle here. Price weaken this zone. If we if price printed this candle and then the body of the candle closed above this zone, okay, that would be a solid confirmation that okay, this trend is about to change. Okay, but this might just be an internal structure, a possible change of character, and then it's not actually a confirmed validation that okay, price is about to retrace back from a bearish to bullish. But sometimes, maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 times, even when we see price weak like this, okay, we will see price retrace into a demand zone. You can see this last sell to buy candle. And then we're also using a bit of confluence. On the monthly, we can see that price is in a demand zone on monthly. On weekly, we are seeing a change, a possible change of trend or like a change of character on the weekly. So the best place to look for opportunities to buy this guy will be when price retraces into this zone here. So on Eurocard on weekly now, I would wait for price to enter the zone, either at this proximal or you wait for price to enter the equilibrium. Okay, so it depends on how you want to trade your demand and supply zone. So once price chart touches this zone, either at this place or the middle or the distal, okay, you want to look for buy opportunities into the zone. Okay, but don't be deceived. Price might actually, break this zone to continue the downtrend. All right, so we can't always be right all the time, right? But if you're using good risk management, losing shouldn't be an issue for you. So let's go to lower time frame and let's look for great setup. Now, based on the daily, you can see what daily is telling us now. Daily price actually, the body of the candle closed above on the daily. All right. So daily is giving us a validation of a trend change from bearish to bullish. Okay, so which move was responsible for this break of this structure? I would choose this extreme um, supply here. This one here is what I'll choose. All right, so possibly I will now wait for price to retrace into this zone. So this can actually happen this coming week. So you want price to come to this zone and then you look for buys as well. You can also see some form of liquidity that are aligned. You can see this liquidity. Okay, this is a trend line here. Maybe if you go to the 4 hours, it will be a lot clearer. Okay, so this liquidity that price would need to move the market. All right, so check this out. So we're expecting price to come down, and then price should grab this liquidity here. All right, so price will grab it into this demand zone, and then when price get into this zone, you look for opportunity to actually buy the market. All right, so this is a good zone to actually look for buy setups. All right, is that clear? Who has a question? Mr. Desmond. So that's what I'll do. Okay, so the same thing, yeah. So that's pretty much it. So you wait. How many pips for price to do that? Okay, let's say about 70 to 100 pips, possibly. All right. So if price should do that, so what you can also wait for, okay, if price is going the opposite direction, you can wait for price to retrace into the supply. So we now wait for price to come up here and then you sell into this demand zone. So if price is going up this coming week, you want price to come here. If price will come here, you sell. If price is continuing this bearish momentum, you wait for price to enter the demand zone here and then you look for opportunity to buy the market. All right? It's as simple as that. Yes, Papilo, ask a question. Can you just type it out? Okay, type out your question. I'm not sure I can unmute you to speak because this is YouTube. All right, so just type a question in the chat box and then I'll answer it. So let's do GBJPY. Mr. Desmond, I hope this is clear for you. For people asking for analysis, right, ensure that you also mark these zones on your own chart and then also do like a cross check, do your own analysis, cross or reference and see. So Papilo is saying, I see. So let me bring out your question, Papilo. So guys, check out Papilo's question. So he's saying, I see a demand zone before the zone you marked. Yes, that is, you mean this zone, right? So we have, this is a demand zone right here. This is a demand zone, demand zone. Now, remember, the concept of liquidity in the market. And then based on the higher time frame now, remember we walked our way down. Oops, this is getting nasty. Hold on. Let me remove this. Give me a second. Let me clear my screen. We started from the higher time frame. That is why. So from the higher time frame analysis, now this is the daily. Okay, honestly, based on the move, my thought process is the move that broke this lower high here. Okay, where did that move come from? Okay, ideally, there are a lot of zones here, but I'll pick this last one over all of these ones because this is liquidity that can be grabbed. Okay, so I don't want to contribute to liquidity grabs. All right, so I'll wait for price to grab liquidity because there are people that are looking to buy the market here. All right, so there'll be a rush here for buys. So I'll wait for price to take out people's liquidity first, and then I look for buys in this zone. Now I might be wrong, and then price should come here and then take off. It's fine, but better safe than sorry, right? So because a lot of times when you see a demand zone and then you see liquidity before demand zone, price usually tends to grab liquidity into a demand zone. On the flip side, price also tends to grab liquidity into a supply zone. All right, so that's why I'm selecting this particular zone over all of this one. And then that trend line liquidity was made clear on the 4 hours. All right, Papilo, I hope that answered your question. All right, so let us check out GBP JPY real quick. All right, GBP JPY. All right, so let me remove your comment from the screen. All right. So this GBP. So let's start from the monthly chart, guys. To have an overall perspective of the market, what is this particular pair doing on the monthly? This chart is confusing. Let me mark it out here. So let me mark it out. I don't know what's doing on the monthly yet. So let me just I have this guy. I have this, and I have this. All right. So monthly price is actually in a overall downtrend, possibly in an equilibrium consolidating. So I wouldn't really take note of this structure here on monthly, but let's go to the weekly chart and see what price is doing on the weekly. So on weekly, let's use this weekly structure. I think it's a bit clearer to follow. You can see this move here. This is an uptrend move. Price is an uptrend here, and then we can see a possible change in direction. So let me quickly just mark it out for you guys to see what I'm seeing. You can see this impulse, correction, impulse, correction. You can see this. All right. So this is the high. Okay, this high is higher than this high. So you have prices have done this. All right. So this is a lower high. I said lower high. Lower low, higher low rather. All right. So we see price approaching this structure, this area of structure in the market. It's the Phipps too. All right. So this is price here. Now, for price to change from this bullish to bearish, we need to see price break this area of structure properly. When we see a break and then the body of the candle closes below this zone, then you now wait for a retracement into what? A supply zone. All right. So you go for us to come here and then you sell the market all the way down. All right. So on the weekly, on GBP JPY, we are seeing a possible change in direction. Possible change in direction. All right. So let me go to. I like to use my hiking Asha as well to check out something. All right. Yeah. So we're solid. So this is a zone that I would expect price to break this coming week. All right. So I think price even already broke below this zone. So we are in an it's a signal for a downtrend. So what you can now anticipate is to expect price to what? You want price to possibly retrace into the zone, right? And then how do we know that price is possibly going to retrace into this zone over here? Okay, if price will move into a supply zone, it has to take off from a demand zone. So based on this, this is the last sell to buy candidate. So this is a demand zone here. All right. So before price will start going up into the zone, right? We need price to touch this zone properly. All right. So you can also see I'm thinking that price will actually go way deep into the zone. This is liquidity over here. All right. So I'm seeing price really get to maybe the middle of the zone, possibly. So we still see I still expect price to actually go a bit further into the zone. So this demand zone that we have over here on the weekly is what will prompt the move into the supply zone over here. All right. So there's still a bit more bearish momentum here. Okay. So now that we know that, let's go to a lower time frame and get a clearer picture of what price wants to do. Let me clear this up real quick. So let's go to the daily chart. Someone is asking, okay, Mr. Desmond, I'm going to answer your question next. Okay, so just hold on. So this is the daily chart, and then daily chart we are seeing the same thing happening. All right. So based on the daily chart, this would be a refined zone that you can look for possible entry over here, or maybe somewhere here. This buy to sell week, anywhere from here. Okay, start looking for entry setups. So what you do this week on GBP JPY, you wait for price to say come down further before you start looking for buy setups. Okay, so but I see a possible buy setup align maybe on Wednesday or Thursday on this guy, because you can see there's a strong sell pressure. Okay, that pressure is going to hit this demand zone. So on your lower time frame, like your 30 minutes, like your 15 minutes, you are also looking for a fractal change of trend from bearish to bullish. Once that change of trend happens on lower time frame, you want to look for price to trace into a demand zone, and then when price gets into that demand zone, you look for buy opportunity. All right. So that's what I'll do on GBP JPY Papillo. So price has not gotten into my point of interest yet. Okay. So let us answer Mr. Desmond's question. So someone is asking a question. He said, if I am trading $100, how much is my ideal income goal weekly? So let me go off the chart so that you can see my face while I'm talking. Stop screen. Okay, so he said, if I'm trading $100 account, how much is my ideal income goal weekly? Your ideal income goal weekly depends on you. Depends on the risk you are willing to take on a particular trade. All right. The Forex market is averaging $7 trillion on a daily basis. So how much you will make depends on how much you want to make. So decide how much do you want to risk on your account per trade. All right. So do you want to grow your account conservatively or grow your account aggressively? Now there are some people that they actually have. So for example, I am a conservative trader. Okay, I trade for a prop firm, and then on every trade that I take, I am risking 0.5% per trade. So I'm fine if I make just 10% or like 5% profit on a monthly basis. So for you trading $100 account, okay, so decide how much do you want to risk per trade. What is the maximum risk that you can actually bear to lose on a particular trade? So is it 2%? Is it 5%? Is it 10% that you can bear to lose? If that trade does not go your way, are you fine losing that amount of money? All right. So you decide. All right. So, but I tell people, if you are not used to losing, if when you lose a trade you still feel very, very bad, then you want to risk a maximum of 5% per trade. Now, what that means is that for you to blow your account, you need to lose 20 trades consecutively, back to back. And guys, trust me, if you have a working strategy, there's no way you will lose 20 trades back to back, except you are doing something not in your trading plan. All right. So based on your risk to reward now. So if your risk to reward, if you are on the premium mentorship, for example, I tell people the minimum risk to reward that you need to have as a trader. Worst case, don't ever enter a trade that you know that you cannot make 1 to 3. So if you are risking 5%, be sure that based on your exit target, that trade can make you 15%. If you are risking 1% per trade, ensure that based on your profit target, that trade can make you 3%, 1 to 3 minimum. So, Mr. Desmond, if your risk is 5% per trade, and then your risk to reward is averaging 1 to 3. So let's say in a week you take 2 trades, and then maybe you win those 2 trades. So that means you risking 5% per trade. So on that particular account now, right, you have made on your first trade, you would have made 15% profit. On the second one, you have made another 15% profit. So that particular week, you would have made $30. Okay, so that's based on your risk. So how much you make depends on you. So you set how much you want to make. I hope that's clear, Mr. Desmond. Yes, trading is an art. Let me put that. Mr. Latif, trading is an art. Thank you so much. All right. So you are the one that will create how your art wants to be like. All right. So it depends on you. Then risk acceptance versus skill. Okay. Mr. Latif said risk acceptance versus skill versus confidence. Exactly. That risk is very, 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 very important. Okay. So that will determine how much you make. Mr. Desmond, so give me some feedback in the chat box if you understand what we've said so far. All right. So I didn't see any other currency pair to analyze in the chat box. All right. So if you have any other questions, just type it in the chat box and then we analyze. And guys, I recommend you guys for people that are really serious about their forex trading education. If you want to actually make a living from forex trading, don't try and figure it out alone, right? So very few people actually figure it out alone, right? Go for training, go for mentorship, all right? And then with time, you will catch up. I tell people that an average Nigerian or African or anybody in the world, you are going to school. You went to primary school, to secondary school, to university, so that you can get a job that can actually maybe change your life. But the forex market is also some sort of career that can also change your life. But you are not ready to put in the time, the effort, the perseverance to learn. Most people cannot devote 6 months to master, not even master, because it's not possible to master in 6 months, to learn forex trading. Most people cannot devote 6 months to learn what can actually transform your finances. All right. So take time. Don't be in a rush, like I always tell people. All right. So okay. So we'll do DXY next, and then we'll do USD CAD. So let's analyze the US dollar index. Okay. So let me go back. Let me go back to the trading view. Give me a second, guys. So we should be done in, let's say, next 10 to 15 minutes so that we can do some other things. So let's do DXY. All right, so DXY. Oops, give me a second, guys. So hold on. Okay, so let's go to the monthly charts on DXY. DXY is the US dollar index. So these are index that let you know the strength or weakness of the US dollar. So every other currency also have their own index. All right, you have the euro index, you have the pound index. Okay, so this index let us know how this pair is doing. So based on this guy now, we can see that the dollar on the monthly chart is on a very, very solid uptrend. Price is creating higher highs. So that is why you are seeing that currency pairs that has the US dollar as a quote is actually selling real hard because the dollar is strong. All right, so that is why Euro USD, AUD USD, GU, they are all selling because the US dollar is the quote currency, and then there's strength on the dollar right now. All right, so that's why we are looking for every opportunity to actually, sell the dollar as regards quote currency. All right, so that's what we have on the monthly, and then we don't see any sign of weakness yet. We see price coming into this zone. These are some sort of equal highs here, or like an M pattern. This is liquidity at this point that price will possibly come to, and then we're also seeing a supply zone somewhere here. So before we see some form of weakness on the US dollar, price needs to actually get into the zone. All right, so that might happen maybe next month or like in 2 months' time. Till then, the US dollar will still be very, very strong. So what that means is that price, GU, EU, AU are still going to be selling for a very, very long time. Okay, because the US index is letting us know the strength of the dollar. So it's still very, very strong right now. Let's go to the weekly. You can see weekly is still creating new highs. Matter of fact, the momentum last week was very, very strong, as you can see. All right, so there's no sign of weakness yet. Okay, price is still trending very much up. If you go to the daily, okay, daily same thing, higher highs being created. All right. So I will say that we'll see some form of weakness when price enters this monthly supply. All right. So that's what I see on index, Mr. Latif. Uh, so and that will inform how we will trade the US dollar on different currency pairs. Okay, Desmond said, you like trading the news, but I don't really know how to go about it. Well, you have to figure out which kind of news do you like trading. Is it NFP news or FOMC or CPI news? All right, so know the news that because not every news is profitable or like moves the market. And what is the essence of trading news? Right, news also works with supply and demand. All right, news works with supply and demand. Like I told you last week, every news will align with a supply zone or a demand level in the market. Check it out. At every point in time that news come out and then you see crazy moves in the market, it is usually at a supply zone or at a demand zone. So it is best for you to stick to supply and demand and then use news fundamental as a form of confluence. It should not be your major reason to trade in the market because news are also they're also fabricated. It is people like you and I that are the helms of affairs that create news. All right. So just be careful. All right. So let's do USD card and then we'll do BTC USD next by Mr. Stanley. So let's go back to the screen. So let's do USD card, USD card and card JPY. They are inversely correlated. So if from UCAD is selling, card JPY should also be buying. So as you can see, based on our analysis of the DXY, the dollar is strong, right, on the DXY. That's why we are seeing this strong bullish move on USD card because the dollar is strong. All right. So price is in an uptrend on this guy. Okay, uptrend. So it's best to look for buys except you see a possible change of character. So this is a demand zone that I wait for price to retrace to if I'm to buy this guy. So that's based on daily. All right. So the only time that I will sell USD card is if price should give me a change of character, like if price should do this, and then this will now be a structural point in the market, this higher low. If price should break this higher low, and then possibly retraces ahead, I'll now look for a sell. And also, because of the strength of the dollar, I would even be very, very conservative with my risk at this point because price is very much bullish on the higher time frame. So there's no reason to sell USD card yet. The best thing to do is to wait, right? You wait for price to retrace into where? Into this demand level. And then you sell and then you buy rather. All right. So let's do our last one. Let's do BTC USD real quick. All right. So if you've been following me, my analysis on BTC USD, guys, if you have been following me, can you tell me where I said Bitcoin is probably going to get to in next couple of weeks? Who can tell me which price do you think Bitcoin will get to in the next couple of weeks? Okay, based on our analysis, I think every week we've analyzed Bitcoin. Okay, so just type in the price I think Bitcoin will get to next couple of weeks or next couple of months before price starts giving us new all-time highs on right. So somewhere around 5K. Okay, at least price was going to 10K first, 5K, and possibly $4,000. But let us check Bitcoin out. So because it's Bitcoin, let's start from the monthly. Okay, like I always tell us guys, price needs to take off from a demand zone. Based on our monthly charts, this is a demand zone here. This place right here, and then this place is 9,000 to 8,000, right? And then as we can see, price is already in an established downtrend. If we go to the weekly, it will be a lot clearer on the weekly. Price is in an established downtrend on the monthly and on the weekly. All right. So that's why Bitcoin is not really going up, because there's no demand for Bitcoin right now. Most people are selling all their Bitcoin right now. Okay. That they are selling their Bitcoin just so that they can buy it at a very, very cheap price. All right. So, and then this zone is a demand zone where a lot of people bought 2020. All right. So, based on this, we're expecting price to come. So let's highlight the market structure. Oops. The market structure. You have impulse, correction, impulse. All right. So possibly we have two things that price can do. If price is going to retrace, price will retrace into this supply zone here. So possibly is either we see price come down into this demand zone, or we see price retrace into the supply zone, then possibly come down. All right. But looking at it, I am not sure that there is enough demand for Bitcoin that will push price into this zone here. I'm not sure. So my analysis would favor a continuous dump of Bitcoin into this institutional demand zone over here. So when price gets here, okay, a lot of people will start getting start being interested in buying Bitcoin. Like I told you last week as well, you start seeing a lot of crypto projects springing up on there, because right now there are a lot of crypto projects or like DAO communities that are waiting to do their mint when price of Bitcoin or Ethereum is at a very, very good price, so that when they mint their coin in their community, people can easily make profit a lot faster. All right. So when if price should come into this demand zone over here, right, we will start seeing massive demand for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins as well. So there will now be a rush in the crypto market. All right. And then we see price actually retracing into this zone. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? All right. So I favor price retracing into this zone, Mr. Stanley. So I don't know what I should do, but I'll wait for price to get here. So that means if I'm going to be doing trading on this guy, trading on CFD, I'll look for sell setups only. All right. So I go to daily charts. Let's see how we can get sell setups on this guy. So we have a break of structure here. So what will I do? I'll wait for price to break this zone. When price break this zone, I'll look for the supply zone that broke the zone, maybe somewhere around here. When that happens, I'll wait for price to now retrace back into the zone. And then when price gets here, I sell from here. Okay, so it's a good time to sell Bitcoin, honestly. So if you are trading on Binance, all those cross margin, or look for sell setups. You really make a lot of money looking for sales because most people are selling their Bitcoin right now. I hope that's clear. Mr. Edu said factor the flip. Let us check it out. Is it on the weekly chart? All right. Any more questions, guys? Let's wrap up for tonight. We have been here for the last 1 hour. All right. So hopefully we can use these tips and concepts to make very good trading decisions on our own. All right. So, guys, before we go tonight, you can see some like something scrolling on your screen. It's an opportunity for you to join the mentorship program. It's a monthly mentorship program where you get access to a trading community, access to weekly live sessions, access to a premium trading library, right? And then access to me as well, so that we can teach you to master this forex trading skill set. All right. So it is priced right now at $100 every month. All right. So take advantage of it and then learn it. This skill set has the potential to totally transform your finances. All right. So go to the link scrolling on your screen right now, or just message me um, personally, and then we'll talk about your trading journey and then how we can make you profitable. All right. Um, don't try and figure it out alone. You continue, most likely, you continue blowing your account if you are not investing in some form of training. All right. So everybody that you know that is making money at a point in their life, they've invested heavily in training, in mentorship before they got it right. All right. So do your own part and then you start getting results. Any other questions, guys? And then we'll call it a night real quick. Any other question? So I just wait for the next 1 minute or 2 minutes. If we don't see any question, uh, we'll call it a night. All right. So let me know if you got value so far in this session. Just type in value in the chat box. If you learned one or two things tonight, okay, type in value in the chat box. Okay. Let me know if this was another session that was worth it for you. Type in value in the chat box real quick. All right. Nice. So what do we have here? All right, good. I see Brighton. I see Agnes. Awesome. Thank you. Nice. Okay. So any more questions, guys, before I call it a night? So if you have any questions, either personal, feel free to message me on my WhatsApp or on Instagram or on my email, or just go to my website and then you find all the contact details right there. All right. So guys, I wish you guys all the very best this new trading week. Don't rush the market. Take your time. If you don't see a perfect setup, try to avoid that particular setup. You want to enter perfect setups only because your money is on the line, right? And then you are trading in the forex market to make money. You are not trading because you want to trade. You are trading because you want to make money, right? So only take trades when you see a perfect setup. So that way your strike rate will greatly increase. You start entering very high probability setups, okay, and then you start making money consistently. All right. So more pips, more money to everybody this week. I'll see you guys in the community. And then, of course, next Sunday source session promises to be an amazing session. All right. So, guys, I am open to feedback regarding the Sunday source. If you have any particular feedback, how we can make this session a lot more better, a lot better, and more engaging. Okay. So, feel free to chat me up and then we'll talk about it, right? How can we deliver more value to you? Okay, so that's all I'm about. Okay, so good night, everybody. Adios. Bye bye, guys. Cheers. God bless you.